Alright, here we go again. Today is day 7, the Lost Woods. Initially, I was planning on putting a lot more effort into this since it was, sort of atmospheric design, but in this case, I kind of took the cop-out way and used some forest resources that Quip Studio already had, just built in. And what I did with those was I just kind of used them and used the color to make a sort of atmospheric, kind of misty, kind of Lost Woods, similar to what we had in Breath of the Wild, because I thought about making it welcoming, but no. A lot of this is drawing inspiration from Breath of the Wild, since the only other game I've actually played is Wind Waker, and both games had this kind of misty, kind of eerie kind of feel to their Lost Woods. It's not really woods for Wind Waker, though. It's just kind of an island with a crater in it, but you get the idea of what I'm saying. For the most part, I just kind of like that misty feel in the Lost Woods, so I ended up just kind of taking that and blowing it up a little further. You'll notice color-wise that I went with lighter trees on a darker background for the first panels, but then once we actually focus in on the trees in the background, it kind of turns into dark trees on light background. So that was, in hindsight, I should have done dark trees on light background, just from the get-go, but it looked nice, so I wasn't really thinking. From now on, I'll probably do dark trees on light background. As for other little details and stuff, I decided that I did want them to be outside of the shop, but I wasn't really sure how to indicate that and wanted to draw the shop as little as humanly possible. So I just kind of put it behind the wise old sage and put this little honeycomb looking thing, hoping that would be enough of an indication. Meanwhile, our main character and wonderful protagonist, he is sitting here and he got a wardrobe change. You'll probably notice the two main bits, which are that he got a cloak and he got gloves. But what's not super visible in this panel, and really not too visible even on the color palette guy who I tried to draw it on, is that he also got some boots. They go up to just below the knee. So that was another little add-on that you don't really see here. It'll get very focused on in the next page. He also, in this page, is gifted a bow. The bow is supposed to be modeled off a Phrenic bow from Breath of the Wild, but I didn't actually remember what a Phrenic bow looked like. So, in the end, what ended up happening is I just kind of made a Phrenic bow from memory, kind of. And I was playing Breath of the Wild today, and turns out, I was very, very off. So, that's, not fun. As for supplies, thankfully, the design I initially made for him, I can just kind of reuse the sleeping bag and the blue pouch of question mark items over and over to, just house all his stuff. You'll also notice, and it's a little hard to tell for this one too, that his rupee pouch got moved from one hip to the other, which is mostly so that the cloak kind of covers it. As for the cloak itself, technically, it's supposed to cover both his shoulders, just kind of completely cover him. And it's got a little hood and everything. But the way he tries to wear it, it just doesn't really work like that. Because what happens is he just kind of takes all of it and throws it over one arm and one shoulder so that he can get all his gear on. Then when that arm goes down, the cloak falls back over his left arm. So it's only like a half cloak because it doesn't go around the supplies on his back, and it only kind of stays on one side. It looks cool, but it's kind of lame. I did try and imply that, yeah, it's designed for the hero of Hyrule kind of thing with the little Triforce on it, but there's not a whole lot special about it. It just has a Triforce because I thought it would look neat. And probably because everyone's like, oh, you're the hero now. And he's like, oh, I don't want to be the hero. But I guess I will be. So he gets a little cape with the Triforce on it, which is pretty much like putting a target on his head for the enemies, because enemies are just sitting here like, oh, you're the hero. Oh, we gotta kill you now. And, oh, this poor soul. He's gonna get shot left and right, but that doesn't happen for a little bit. As for him, he's just... I tried to get across that, okay, he's getting ready, he's all geared up, but also thanks for the bow, but I don't want to be here. I don't want to go into that. Look at those woods, they're probably haunted, kind of thing. Which, to be fair, considering the boss fight is like 3 days away, he's got the right idea. Not sure what I'm gonna do for the boss yet, but I do have the rough drafts, I guess. Thumbnails, that's what they're called. Thumbnails of the next 4 pages, so those should be a lot easier than this one and the last one were, because those I was just kind of making it up out of thin air. These, it'll come a lot more naturally, because I've got a pre-designed guide to go off of. Because you would not believe just how much time it takes to just think of all of these panel setups. It's nuts. Let's see, is there anything else? I'm not sure, because this was actually just a pretty quick and easy panel, despite the fact that it took 5.5 hours. Well, it took 5.5 hours, but it didn't take 8, so that's nice. And technically I finished it last night, but it was way too late to do anything, and my laptop was having a fit, so you're getting this recording today. Yeah, I think that's really all I got. Normally I'd have a lot more to talk about, but this page is pretty empty. There's not a whole lot here that I didn't really cover. Tomorrow we'll be doing some Koroks, if I remember right. And that I'm hoping won't take too long, but it may take a minute. Oh well. Fingers crossed it's not too bad. Oh, I hope I didn't just jinx myself. Enjoy the rest of the speed paint.